Okay, good. So I'm obviously in Deer Valley, Utah, having a little fun. And we had a great dinner last night, and I was thinking about you guys. So while my husband, okay, just imagine this. While my husband's sleeping, I'm underneath the sheets, like trying to listen to your videos and read your posts before it was glowing, when the phone glows and the whole room opens up. So I was literally last night watching your videos. And then this morning, I got up this morning and I was like in the bathroom hiding, watching your videos. And so, who did the homework last night? Like, let's just take a moment, just say, go in the chat, say me. Who did the homework? Actually, don't say me. Say HW so I can go back and look. I go back and I look at these chats. So I see how effective was I in my leadership? How effective was I in landing what to actually do? How effective was I in actually telling you the strategies to take? So did I confuse you? Were you able to take action? Remember this, a confused mind does nothing. Okay, so when you're helping people, learning how to speak in a way that doesn't spin people means that you don't give so much of a story that's irrelevant. You learn how to speak in a way that you land your communication so people can take action and you can help them. So put an HW in the chats if you actually did your homework so I can go check that out and see the effectiveness. Then secondly, here's what I want to share with you. For yesterday, I told you that I was going to give away a Peloton, right? Who's excited about that? So I'm going to give away a Peloton. I love my Peloton. Suzanne and I were just talking, and she's actually more excited about today's prize than the Peloton. So it's getting better. It's going to keep getting better. Okay, so here, let me share this with you. I wrote this on like literally a montage. So look, it doesn't have to look pretty, guys. You could just grab what's around you. You could grow incredible businesses. You don't have to have the perfect studio. Let me just show you what I got set up here right now, okay? First of all, I was showing VIP this, but here's outside my room. Going to do some skiing. But look at what my husband set up as my studio. That's my studio here. Just do you kind of like this makeshift, like literally so that you don't see the bed. Right? So it's like you have no excuse but to do things messy and perfect and just keep going. You can have fun and you don't have to cancel out making money, creating finances because you're having fun, right? Like you can let go of intensity and just have a good time as you go. Okay, so here's my winners that actually did the homework. So first of all, Gloria Marcotte. I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but Gloria Marcotte. I just wanted to share oh, there you are. Hello, hello, hello. So I'm gonna pop you up real quick because we've got a lot of content to do today. So just unmute yourself for just a second, right?
I'm here.
Unmute yourself.
I'm
Hi.
here. Hi.
So first and foremost, I watched your video. It actually, so we're going to talk about copy today. And
Okay.
I know I told all of you guys to put hard conversation in the chat and then share. But when I read your post that said this conversation probably saved my marriage, right?
Facts.
So
Facts.
that's great copy. Do you guys see what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about messaging and copy today. My friend Yara is going to train you guys. And by the way, we hire her to do things. Okay, our last campaign was $10,000 for the week for her to do. So this is like I need you to understand that you're getting great training and how important it is. Gloria stood out amongst thousands of you, right? Like I looked at the comments yesterday. There was 3.9 thousand comments on one channel. There was, 3,000 comments on another, 2,000 comments on another, channel because I'm using social media to broadcast. Do you see what I'm saying? So that's a lot of people to stand out. So if you're tired of going out there and putting in the effort and getting crickets, who gets crickets, put a C. If you get crickets when you speak somewhere, put a C. Okay, so Gloria, your post, your copy, you need to remember that vulnerability connects,
Thank you.
right? Vulnerability connects. So just real quick, you had the conversation. People may or may not have seen your video. You had a conversation which normally would go sideways. And
Yes.
you led it by saying what? What was the line I taught you that you led it?
I opened up myself to be vulnerable in the conversation instead of being right. I came from a together perspective and just asked, what are you trying to accomplish with me in our marriage? Is it closeness, love, those types of things? So I opened it up instead of just trying to be right so that they are wrong. I opened it up so that we could come together in an us scenario. I've never done that before in that way. It shifted everything. It was worth there's not enough money on the planet that would have made up for that moment, literally. And I'm telling you, like, it was there, and we're on the burble, and it brought it right back. It brought it right back into here.
And so when you led the conversation, that's why I say everything is leadership. When you and copy, by the way, that we're talking about is leadership. Yara can teach you all the copy in the world, but if you don't know where you're going, if your intention isn't clear, right? Ash and I are going to do a bonus training tomorrow. My husband and I, we're going to do a bonus training tomorrow around the 3 things you need to know how to lead more sales in your business and in your life. So we weren't sure we were going to do that, but we're going to do it tomorrow, guys, before we hit the slopes. But that leadership, okay, so like what response did you get back when you led? Like, you obviously didn't get a fight. What'd you get?
I got, I love you too, and yes. I, I,
Hey, everybody go to chat. Put a heart, put love, put XOs. You know what I mean? Like, give her some love, right?
Yeah,
So
thank you.
imagine if divorces didn't have to happen.
Yeah.
Imagine if fights with your spouses, your sisters, your aunts, your uncles, your parents. Gloria, I'm going to say bye because just for the sake of time, but girl,
Thank
we
you.
got a Peloton coming to you and your
Thank
family.
you.
So
Thank you.
Peloton's on their way.
Thank you.
Okay, so you're so welcome. Fabiola Garcia. Fabiola Garcia, we're not going to pull her up, or I don't know if she's on this live. She might be on the other chats. But Fabiola, I don't know if you're on YouTube or Facebook, but we're going to send you $500. And we're going to send you $500 because you also went in and you took the coaching, right? So much of this is just trusting the process because we all fail along the way. But listen, you got to dust your freaking shoulders off. You got to get back in the game. Because if you want to be right about the fact that everything hasn't come together, you've tried before in the past, then you're going to essentially end up making yourself wrong by not having the life you want. Okay, got it? Okay, so here's where we're going to get going. I could have given lots of prizes away today. Many of you guys went all out. I listened to one woman who her mom won't get a house. Anybody see her? Her mom won't get a house and she wants her grandbabies to go see grandma at their house. And her mom's got all of these, storage units. And these are stories. Stories are what sell. Our vulnerability is what sell. Okay, so forget the word sell for a second. It's what enrolls. It's what leads, right? You can interchange all these words. And there's just no excuse for you to get crickets when you talk. You got to know what you're doing by setting your intention on where you're going, speaking to one person and not 20 million, and being vulnerable in a way that people can touch you. So this woman with your mother, I love that your mother called you up and literally said to you, I would like to store stuff in your garage. And instead of you making your mother wrong, instead of, putting guilt and shame on her that the grandkids can't go to her house because she doesn't have a home and doesn't want a home, right? Instead of making her wrong for her desires and her choices in her life, you actually opened up and received your mother and were able to create a connection there, right? How amazing do you think her mother feels? That she didn't have to justify her decisions in life to her kid. Do you know what I mean? Like, how amazing do you think that mother and that grandmother felt in that moment? Do you think she walked off that phone call? She might not have known what happened. She might not know her daughter's doing this course right now, right? But what she does know is that she got off that line and was like, wow, I feel more connected to my daughter. I guarantee you it. I feel more comfortable about wanting to go over and spend time with her. I feel more loved, seen, and received. So today, what we're going to do is I'm going to bring Yara up in 2 seconds. I'm watching the chats. Okay, I'm watching the chats. I want to look who is going in the chats, who is really sharing aha moments. Like, what is Yara teaching today that will forever change your life? It'll be amazing for her to go back on the chats and read that, to be able to see what is she saying that's landing with you. so that she can see how she's changing your lives. Today, Jay, you might not want this, but you might want to sell it. That's for all the men. We're going to give away a Louis Vuitton never, I think it's called Never End. Anyway, it's the big,
Powerful.
what is it? Never Full. The Never Full. I have two of them. You'd think I'd know. The Never Full Louis Vuitton purse. It's a big purse. It's a beautiful purse. Men, you could turn around and sell it, or if you wanted to be really smart, gift it to someone that you absolutely love in your life, and you will have kudos and points forever. You know, it's so powerful. It's one of my favorite purses. Every time I travel, I use that purse because I swear I could drop a 30, 50-pound weight in it and it will never break. It's an incredible Louis Vuitton purse. I use all of their purses. They're my favorite purses and they're expensive. And I want to gift it to someone who goes all in today. Who knows? I might gift two, right? So this is about let's go all in. Let's change the world by changing you first. Yara, let's bring you up to the live right now.
Hey, good morning.
Hi, beautiful. Nice to see you.
I have like chills already. You're like saving marriages, changing lives, giving away Louis Vuittons. Like, let's go.
This is a good day. This is
I
a good
know.
week. Okay, so I'm gonna pass it to you, and I just want to set the context here. So Yara and I have worked together for a while. I would say we're pretty close friends.
Oh, for sure.
You know, we can pick up the phone and call each other and ask each other for support on anything that we're working on, and we will move things to help each other. She is a phenomenal copywriter. She's got a great story on how she ended up choosing her career path. So for some of you guys, I don't know if she'll go into that. I don't know if she'll have time, but just know this, that if you're struggling with what it is that you should be doing or you're in a hard moment, know that you can surrender into making a decision that really can change your life today. So she can really embody that and just, you know, even if she doesn't talk about it, she can embody that and that can break off of you.
Yeah.
Okay, so somebody who needs clarity right now. Now she's come up with a new formula that's really working to help people sit down and write. Okay, so you have to communicate with somebody in order to lead them and in order to enroll and make money, right? Yes? Yes? Okay, so we got that. Like you're not going to lead somebody all by yourself and make money without talking to it. Like, hi, Bill, how you doing? Like it's just not going to happen, right? So that being said, she's come up with a formula that's helping thousands of people right now. We want it to help you, and then she's also going to slide in calls to action, which is a lot of people don't know how to go from how do you talk to somebody into moving them into action. By the way, that's often in a speaking relationship the moment that things go sideways
Yeah.
is when you tell somebody what to do. Okay. And so she's going to show you how to slide into that. It's called a CTA, call to action. She's going to show you how to slide into that. Have a piece of paper and pen next to you. I guarantee you're going to want to write this. And it's not odd for my team to go and delete all these videos afterwards. They have a whole system on what they do. So train, learn, listen to it again. I'll talk to you soon. Yeah, go
And
for it.
just a quick question. As we go through, am I able to like call someone up if I want to do like a hot seat or something like that?
Yep, Suzanne's
Okay.
got you. Just say Suzanne.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. So I am so glad to, first of all, be here with you guys. Shanda's community has always been so warm, so welcoming, and full of people who are hungry and want to get after it. And so I just love coming here and pouring into you guys. Shanda touched a little bit on the story of how I actually became a copywriter. And I think that that's a great jumping off point because it really is a roundabout way how I was able to find and claim success for myself. And so,
Hey,
yeah,
I'm sorry to do this real quick.
no, you're fine.
You don't have to hot seat me, or you don't have to spotlight me, you guys. But this is Shanda speaking over the speakers. Um, even if you can't wrap your head around copy, I became a great speaker because I learned copywriting. So I just want to say that because it translates on speaking and writing.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm going back to you. Go ahead.
Okay. So back in the end of the beginning of 2014, I was actually going through a divorce and I had been a stay-at-home mom for close to 15 years, but I only had like a 6 and a 4-year-old. So I was basically just staying at home, right? And I was now in an apartment by myself with these 2 kids, really trying to figure out how on earth I was going to put food on the table. And some of you may have heard the story before. Some of you are hearing it for the first time. But there was one evening in particular where I was sitting crying with my head in my hands, because I had no idea how on earth I was going to put food on the table the next day. And at that moment, I looked over on the counter and I saw, $400 Vitamix blender, because at that moment in time, I found all of my validation and my worth from what I had. And so when I left my home, I took everything I possibly could, right? So here's this Vitamix. I've got Pottery Barn sheets and blankets on the bed. Like, my apartment is chock full of stuff. And I saw this blender and I was like, I can't believe I have a $400 blender, but I don't know how to put food on the table next week. And in that moment, I remembered that I bought that blender at Costco. And I was like, Costco will let you return anything. And so the next day I packed up the blender, I went back to Costco and I returned it and got $400 back, and I put food on the table for my kids. Right. And it was really in that moment that I think I not only returned that blender, but I returned my ego. Right. I was like, forget this. Like, I am willing to do whatever it takes in order to put food on the table, take care of myself and these kids. And I stepped into resourcefulness. And if there's one thing as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, that you want to have front and center in your world, is being resourceful, right? And so that's really what kind of kicked off my journey. I became a relationship coach, even though I was in the middle of a divorce myself. I just went on Facebook and I started sharing what was going on in my life, what had happened behind the scenes, how we were working forward into a co-parenting relationship, what our new relationships look like. And people's jaws, you guys, were hitting the ground, because they were like, you're talking about stuff that nobody talks about, and you're doing it with grace. You're doing it from a perspective of growth and of learning. And so what started happening was that my chat started blowing up, right? People were sending me messages. How are you doing this? What books are you reading? I'm in a similar situation. Can you help me? And that's really where my entrepreneurial journey started, because I was like, hey, I'm sitting in a situation where I need to make money, and you're asking me questions. I'm spending all of my time here. Maybe, just maybe, I can step into being a coach for you, because I know that maybe I don't have all of the answers, but I definitely know more than you do where you're sitting right now, right? I'm a couple steps ahead of you, and I can help you navigate this. So as I went through that process, I was very, very fortunate to be surrounded by entrepreneurs and surrounded by coaches who were in high-level masterminds, in coaching groups, working with mentors. And I got to kind of go along on that ride with them. And I found myself in rooms where I was like, I could really help every single person in this room with their relationships, but I didn't have the skill set yet to be able to present my offer in a way that people wanted to pick it up, right? And so I struggled and I struggled, and I had some great months and I had some horrible months. And I was just like, what is happening here? And it wasn't until 2018, I believe, that I was in the audience of a big event called Funnel Hacking Live. And I remember looking at my girlfriend and saying, I have everything inside of me right now that I need in order to be successful. And if I'm not successful next year, it's because I simply don't want it, not because I can't do it. I'm fully capable of stepping into this. And the next year, you guys, well, first of all, in that month, I went from making $2,500 as a relationship coach per month to shifting my focus into helping people tell their stories and mine the lessons from their stories, presenting them to their audiences, right? So I shifted into copywriting. And by the end of that month, I was making $25,000 in that month. When I tell you that I felt like Wile E. Coyote strapped to a rocket, that is exactly how I felt. But my mindset hadn't quite caught up, right? Because my fear at that moment was like, oh my gosh, like, don't do anything wrong. Like, don't screw it up, don't screw it up, don't screw it up, right? I was wanting, like, I so badly wanted all of these things. And so I've slowly now, years later, been able to settle into what that success looks like and who I got to become in order to create that and maintain that and now expand that. And so I want to share a little bit of what that journey has looked like. And I know, Shanda asked me to come and speak to you about copywriting. And here I am telling you the story of how I became a coach. But this is actually the very first lesson that I want to share with you. Nobody on this call would have listened to a word that I had said had I not plucked your attention, right? Like, I need to capture your attention. And so when you're doing a live, when you're writing an email, when you're writing a sales page, when you're writing a post on social media, whatever it happens to be, there needs to be a moment where you capture your audience's attention, right? Shanda demonstrated it with the woman who won the Peloton with Gloria, right? She said, hey, this conversation saved my marriage. That is great copy. Like, it's not just good copy, it's like phenomenal copy. Why? Because all of us have been in a situation where we've experienced a relationship that's on the brink, right? And so you read that and you're like, oh man, like I know the gravity that comes with this statement that she just shared, right? And so when I take you back to, hey, in 2014, I was going through a divorce, everyone's like, oh, I got to hear this, right? Like spill the tea. I'm about to spill the tea. Everyone come close so that I can tell you what happened, so that I can share with you. Right. And so that's one of the very first things that I want to share with you guys. Like, you've got to do your best to capture people's attention. Once you have people's attention, it's really about making sure that you know what it is that you want to communicate to them. Why are you writing this post? Is it because somebody said that you should post on social media a certain number of times a week, and so you want to check the box? If it is, you really want to check in with yourself, right? Like, you should be writing, I don't want to say should, but like the intention behind your content creation, regardless of where it is, needs to be to serve your audience, right? Like, Shanda doesn't get up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. on her vacation because she's like, oh, I got to do day 5 of my challenge, right? She's like excited. She's like, I am here to serve these people. I am here to move these businesses forward. I have a mission, right? And so when you bring that energy to your content, it translates, it comes across, and people feel that, and people want to work with people that they connect with, right? And so I'm going to look over here because I've got a couple notes that I wanted to make sure that I covered with you guys. So the very first one is that copywriting is not as difficult as you guys are making it. If you just go ahead in the chat, like, are you making copywriting more difficult for yourself? Just say yes. Yes, kind of, yes. Okay. Okay. Everybody says yes. So when you sit down to write, I want you to take off your business owner and marketer and entrepreneur hats and put on your human hat. Okay. All of us have been selling things for the entirety of our lives. When we're a baby, we're selling our moms on bringing us a bottle or picking us up or holding us, right? It looks like crying. When we're a toddler, like, how many of you guys have negotiated with a toddler back and forth? And they're like, well, cause why? Right? Like, this conversation, this is a skill that all of us have developed. If you've ever gotten to go to the restaurant that you want to go to with a group, you're a copywriter. If you've ever gotten to see the movie that you wanted to see, you're a copywriter. If you've ever wanted to go on vacation and been able to get a group of people to go on that vacation with you, you're a copywriter. Because copywriting is really just about enrolling. I saw the word here in the comment. It's about enrolling people into the vision that you have of what's possible. Right? Now, it gets a little tricky for us when it comes to copywriting in order to sell something, because we get all weird about selling, right? It's like, oh, I have to ask for money. I gotta ask for money. I don't know what to do. It makes me feel weird. It's okay, you guys. It comes back to the mission and the vision that you have, right? If you really, truly believe that you are here to serve a group of people, to serve a mission, that you have a calling that you get to fulfill, your job is to present that to as many people as you possibly can and help them see why this is the clear path forward for them, right? When somebody would get off the phone with me and I failed to enroll them in this being the solution to their problem, I got off the phone and I was like, what did I do wrong? Not because I didn't get the sale, but because I felt like I let that person down, right? I needed to get better at my craft of selling, of enrolling, of demonstrating value and opportunity to people so that I could inspire them and I could lead them, to use Shanda's verbiage, right? To lead them forward and into change. And so copywriting really is, it's like, forget about the word copywriting. It's about a conversation. You are having a conversation with an individual. And a lot of you may say, okay, Yara, but it's different because, like, I'm sending one email, but it's going out to 100, to 1,000, to 100,000 people. And it's like, okay, that's fine. I understand that. However, when that message hits their inbox, when you get an email from Shanda, are you reading it along with 100,000 people? in your room or in your bathroom, maybe on your phone or in your car or in car line. No, it's a one-to-one conversation. So we receive all email as a one-to-one conversation, even though for the person writing it, it's a one-to-many conversation. And so I know Shanda and I both talk about the fact that, one of the easiest ways to get your content to sound more personable and be more relatable and connect more is to actually pretend or even simply write the email to one of your best friends. I tell my clients all the time, figure out who the person that you've worked with that you absolutely adore. If every single one of your clients was just like this person, you would be thrilled out of your mind, and write the emails to them. Or you can think of someone in your world that you're like, man, if that person would just raise their hand and say, hey, I really need help with this one thing, I could make a tremendous difference in their world, right? The person, like we all have somebody that we're just like, if this person would just ask for help, I could totally help them. Write the email, the content to that person. And so it's really, I promise you guys, it is not as difficult as we're making it for ourselves. Shanda also talked on CTAs, right? Are you guys afraid of CTAs? The call to action, like how do we go from telling a story into actually offering a product or a service or an event? Okay, so I have 3 points that I want to cover with you. The first one is that we've got to always give the audience a reason to take action, right? It doesn't matter how amazing our product is if nobody says yes, right? Because they're not going to get the benefit of it. And the reason that they're going to take action is because there's urgency. Maybe there's some scarcity, right? Like this is a one-time offer. There's a price reduction that's happening right now, or there's a price increase that's going to be happening later. This is limited time. Maybe it's, I don't know, it could be like, hey, Easter's coming. And so we're going to do this new thing. Or like, it could be any number of things. Like, I want you guys actually put in the chat, like, what's a reason that you could give somebody for, like, it could be, I've seen urgency around, it's my birthday, right? It's my birthday. There's Mercury retrograde. 222 was a good reason for some people. The Super Bowl is a good reason. Like, you got to give people a reason why you're doing something. My anniversary, spring break, holidays, summer, Black Friday. Exactly. So you guys have seen this. You guys have seen this in action. You're just maybe thinking to yourselves, and I did this for a really long time, oh, my business isn't like that one, so I don't do a Black Friday sale. Like, maybe my business is too small. Like, I can't do a Black Friday sale. Yes, you can. You can do it's Friday Eve sale, right? It can be really, really silly things. And depending on the relationship that you have with your audience, it can be really silly and playful like that, right? So make sure that you're always giving your audience a reason to move forward. What did I say? Focus more. Oh, okay. So this is another mistake that I see people make all of the time. People get really, 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 oh, I love this one. Supply chain issues and pricing is going up. Supply chain issues, like all furniture stores right now, right? It's supply chain issues, like everything's more expensive. It's harder to get. Okay. I see this all of the time. We as business owners and as entrepreneurs and as visionaries and as creatives, we get so stinking excited about our products and about the bonuses and about how many modules it has and about how many hours of content we've created and about all of the people that we brought in special for you so that we could have the best summit, the best program, the best course ever, right? Our people, our audience doesn't really care about how, like, really, like, you guys, who wants 48 hours of content? No, like the last time that someone was like, hey, here's a course with 25 modules, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't. Like, I don't have time for that, right? The only thing that our people care about is solving the problem that they have. Yet all of the copy that I see out there, I shouldn't say all, most of the copy that I see out there is focused on the program, the product, or the service versus the problem and how the program, the product, or the service solves the problem, right? It's like, if you're going to tell me about the bells and whistles, tell me why the bells and whistles are going to solve my problem, or else I'm out. I'm not listening anymore. Because I'll share a story with you guys. I have a dog. He's a Frenchie. He's usually sitting under my chair snoring. I didn't let him come in today, but he was across the house the other day, and my partner and I were sitting on the couch, and James is calling him over. He's like, Louis, come here, come here, come here. And Louis literally looking straight at him. And he's like, I'm not coming. I'm not going over there. And we spent a good 5 minutes calling this dog over to us, and he just wouldn't come. It wasn't until we had a treat in our hands, like literally holding the treat, and we're like, Louis, and his ears popped up and he ran right across the room. And I just started laughing, and I looked to James and I said, I was like, what's in it for me, right? This is the thing that you have to remember, you guys. Everybody, as they're scrolling social media, as they're reading a sales page, as they're going through their inbox, this is the question that they're asking themselves. What's in it for me? Why am I going to click into this email and read what you have to say? Why am I going to watch this video? Why am I going to attend this recording or this call, this challenge or this webinar? Like, why am I coming to this training? What's in it for me? If you can answer the question, what's in it for me, for your people, your CTAs will convert so much better, right? It's like, why? And you got to also remember, like, when you're in an email selling something, you're not actually selling it on the email unless the call to action is for somebody to call you, right? To book a call with you. And even then, you're not selling the product on that page. You're actually selling it on the call, right? If you're having them click out to something else, your sales page is going to do the selling. So your email is really selling the click to whatever you're going to, right? So if you think about the way that this happens, your subject line sells the click into the email, the body of your email and your CTA sells the click to either book a call, to talk to your salespeople, to go to a sales page, and then the sales page is going to sell the actual item, right? Whatever that happens to be. And so a lot of times it's like, oh, well, my emails aren't selling. And it's like, well, it's not really designed to do that. Your email is designed to convert somebody from your email audience into a buyer when they go to your sales page, right? Or to get on the phone with you. So there is definitely a conversion conversation that can be had around email, but we've got to remember, like, what is the actual job of this piece of content? And so I just kind of want you guys to keep that in mind so that you can make sure that you're focusing on solving people's problems rather than like trying to sell your thing. Okay. And then the third thing was that we've got to be really, really, really clear about what we want them to do, right? And this kind of goes back to what I was just saying. Do you want them to click on a link? So I see this mistake all of the time. I'll click on an email and it's like, oh, I was watching this video on YouTube the other day, click here. And it was really amazing. And we were having this great conversation about it in my Facebook group where you can click here. And, oh, if you love what they have to say, like, I'd love to have a conversation with you about how I can help you actually navigate that in your life. So go ahead and book a call here. What am I supposed to do? Right? Like, if I clicked out to watch the YouTube video, I'm probably not coming back to finish reading the rest of the email. Right? And if I made it to the Facebook group, now I'm scrolling all kinds of questions and answers and pictures, and I probably went down a scroll hole. I'm not coming back to the email. And if I made it to the bottom after those two calls to action, now there's a call to action to book a call. Am I going to probably do that? No, because you just gave me some homework that I probably need to go do, right? So I'm overwhelmed, I'm confused. And like Shanda said earlier, a confused mind doesn't take action, and a confused mind doesn't buy. So you want to have one CTA. You can have it multiple times throughout the email, but whatever you're putting in front of them for them to click or do, make sure that's what you really want them to do. Stop overloading your emails or your social posts with like just stuff because you're like, I need to add value. So that means I've got to put a bunch of links in front of them so that they can click them. No. Make sure that the CTA and the links that you put in front of your people are the ones that you want them to click on, and then tell them what to do. When you click this link, you'll be taken to a scheduler where you can choose a time and date that works for us to have a conversation. When you click this link, you'll be taken to a sales page where you can read all about the details of the product. When you click this link, right, like what's going to happen, explain to them. Don't be shy, be assertive, be a leader, let them know what they need to do and what's going to happen when they actually do that. It actually develops trust, which is super, super important when it comes to sales. She also asked me, Shanda asked me, she's like, okay, what are some of your favorite copywriting resources, right? Like, where can we get information? Where can we learn to be better copywriters? I really honestly think that if you're going to be a writer, the very, very first thing that you need to do is actually read, right? Read other people's writing. You guys are going to laugh. I have a stack. The other day I was doing a project, a science project with my daughter. She's 12. And we were doing like one of those big, like trifold cutout cardboard things. And I thought, oh, we should like take magazines and cut, the letters out so that we can make it say what it needs to say. And I was all excited. And she ran to my office and grabbed a pile of like old junk mail and magazines and stuff that I have. And she brought them to the kitchen and she's like, can we use these, Mom? And I was like, no, no, we can't use those because they're old direct mail pieces. Okay. And they're like impossible to get anymore. So I was so grateful she brought them instead of just cutting them up. But reading other people's copy, right? Yes. Somebody put it in the comment, read other people's copy, read books, read stories, read from all genres, right? Like I love nature documentaries and nature shows. And the more I watch them, I feel like my copy gets better. Why? Because there are things that are mirrored in nature, right? If you're very religious or spiritual, like I recently started reading the Bible and I'm reading the Bible and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like there's so much stuff here that's like, it's human nature, right? Anything that exposes human nature and lets you know, like the psychology, the thinking, the way that we interact with each other, the way that other people have presented stories for decades, like whatever it is that you love, just do that, like dive into that, but read it, right? Consume it, become a consumer of high quality content. Okay. That's the caveat, high quality content. And so I'm going to give you guys a couple of books. One of them is called The War of Art by a guy named Steven Pressfield, which is absolutely amazing. And this will actually help overcome procrastination. It will help with inspiration. It will help you understand why creatives sometimes have such a hard time getting started and like going after things. Amazing, amazing book. And then another is, you can actually see it up here on my bookcase. It's this trilogy. It's called The Secrets Trilogy, and it's by a guy named Russell Brunson. He talks here, he's got expert secrets, traffic secrets, and .com secrets. And it will do a really, really deep dive into digital marketing, but he has a bunch of pieces in there on copywriting. And I would say that that's really where my copywriting career kind of took off, because I learned the art of CTAs. I learned how to really be honest and vulnerable and share my story. And so that's another one that I really, really like. And then I'm going to share a website with you guys. Every single person on this call should 1000% write this website down. Okay. It's called answerthepublic.com. Answerthepublic.com. It is fantastic. So you can go to answerthepublic.com and it'll give you a search box just like Google, and you can put in a keyword. So for example, you could say leadership, and it will generate a mind map of all of the questions that people are Googling and looking up on the internet as they relate to leadership. And so the amazing part about this tool is that, yeah, everyone's like, ooh, I know. I shared it with a handful of people and they were like mind blown, right? Because what's amazing is like, you want to talk about what should I email my people about? Or what should my social captions be about? Or what should my next Facebook Live be about? Or, what should a reel be about? It's there. It is all there. You can literally go in and see all of these questions that people are asking and just answer them. Like, it's the best ask campaign ever, like the best survey ever. And so that's those are some of the resources that I actually use day in and day out. I also have a book up here on my shelf that's called On Writing by Stephen King, of all people, you guys. Stephen King, famous novelist. This is actually one of his only books that I've read because it's not a scary book. It's actually all about his writing journey. And he tells a story of an accident that he had, how he really almost lost his life, and, the journey back. But he talks about how he creates characters, how he builds out stories things that his editors were saying to him when he was first starting out. So it's just a really, really great book on like the nuts and bolts of writing. And it blew my mind. And I believe that it made me a better copywriter. So those are some of my favorites. What else? Okay. I also wanted to share a formula that I came up with you guys, because one of the things that I find is really difficult, and I'd actually love to see some hands raised here in the chat. Consistency. Do you guys struggle with consistency when it comes to creating content, whether it's for an email list or social media or anywhere? Okay. So Shanda told you guys that I see Jimmy's, she's like, yes, 1,000%. Yeah, I did too. And this is just like truth, right? Like, honestly, like I struggled with consistency for a really long time, even once I was successful. Right. And then I felt even worse because I was like, now I'm a fraud. People are paying me to write for them, and I'm not even writing for my people. I was like, what am I going to do? Right? Like, it's just this like awful place to be in. And so I was like, I've got to really figure this out for myself. Like, how on earth am I going to make this work? And so, oh, we got one no. Danielle, she said, no, I posted every day for over 4 years. More power to you. That's awesome. Good for you. I was like, I got to figure this thing out. Right. And so for the longest time, maybe some of you guys can relate, absolutely hated spreadsheets. I was like, if I look like the second I opened a spreadsheet, I would like, my eyes would gloss over, and I was just like, no, I'm not paying attention. Like, does somebody else handle this? And this is part of, leadership, right? Like Shanda will tell you. And I finally like got to a point in my business where I was like, I don't get to like stick my head in the sand anymore. Like, I've got to become a leader. I've got to lead this team. I can't just hand things off to people and not know what's going to happen with them. Like, I need to figure this out for myself. And so for me, I started with this idea of consistency. I was like, how do I show up consistently? And even if I do show up consistently, what's the thing that's really going to move the needle for me, right? Like, why am I going to show up consistently? And I said, okay, well, if I show up consistently and I'm clear about why I'm showing up and what I want people to do, that'll be a win, right? And so I started doing that. And then I was like, wait a minute, something's missing here. So I'm going to show up consistently and I'm clear, but what's missing? I'm not making enough offers, right? If you don't make offers, you're not going to make money, you guys. I say that there's 3 different types of marketers that show up in your inbox. There's the pickup artist, right? The one that's like, hey baby, how you doing? It's 2 a.m. He's like, what you doing? And it's like, hey, I got a new product. I got a new offer. Like, you want to buy it? And you're like, who are you? I haven't heard from you in 6 months. Like, I don't want anything to do with you. Get away, right? Like, you guys have gotten emailed by the pickup artist. Some of you guys may have even been the pickup artist. I know I have been. I was like, oh, I got a new offer. I got to send it to my people, right? Then we have the player, right? And the player, he puts a little bit more effort in. He's suave. He's like, hey girl, how you doing? Let me buy you a drink, like spend some time, right? This is a person who has like some automations in place. They've got some follow-up sequences in place. But what happens with the player? When he doesn't get what he wants in his own time, poof, he's out, right? He ghosts you. And all of a sudden you're just like, what happened? Like, I thought things were going really well. I liked you. You said you weren't like other guys, and then you were, right? You guys know the player. I showed up like the player before too, and I've been emailed by him or her, right? And then there's Mr. Nice Guy, the one who gives and brings and talks to you and adds value. This is the entrepreneurial version, right? I'm going to add value. I'm just going to add so much value. I'm just going to give them everything and never ask for anything in return. And I'm secretly going to be so annoyed and mad and frustrated with them because they suck, because they won't give me the thing that I want. Like, no one's buying my stuff. Well, did you ask them to? Right? Like, did you ask them to? And that's how I was showing up. I was showing up consistently, and I was clear about why I was showing up, but I wasn't making any offers. And so that's really the formula. Consistency plus clarity times the amount of offers equals you getting paid. Okay. Consistency plus clarity times the amount of offers that you make is what's going to get you paid. And so I kind of want to like loop this back a little bit to the leadership program that Shanda's talking about, because both consistency and clarity can be linked back to leadership, right? Like I had to decide that I got to become a better leader in my organization, in my business, with my audience, for me to start showing up consistently. And I had to lead myself into clarity, right? I couldn't just be like, hey guys, just buy my thing. Like, here's the link. It's like, no, what thing, what service, what product do I want to offer these people? What problem, challenge, obstacle am I going to solve for them or help them overcome in their own lives? Right? Like, what is the offer that I'm going to make for them? Like, what all can I put in this thing to make sure that I can get them across the finish line, that they have everything they need in order to be successful? And so, yes, like creating content is fine, right? Pushing send is fine. Hitting post is fine. But if there's not like a real intention behind that, it's going to fall flat. And so that's really where the leadership piece comes in. It's like, okay, we want to make money. Yes. Every single person on this call right now, I don't even know how many of you there are, like hundreds, thousands probably, wants to make more money. That's not a good enough reason for people to buy from you. People feel that. People feel that. You know, when you walk onto a car lot and you're like, you really just want to look at the cars. And if somebody was genuinely going to help you, you would probably like be thrilled to receive the help, right? To ask them the questions, like get in the car, sit in and everything. But what happens? Hey, you looking to buy a car? And you're just like, like get away from me. Like you want money from me, right? Like you're not trying to add value to my life. You're not trying to solve a problem for me. You're trying to get paid. And so I really want you guys to think about that when you sit down to write. Am I just trying to get paid? Like, be honest with yourselves. Like, I really, really, truly do. Like, put a mirror in front of your desk, right? And when you sit down to write, look at yourself and ask yourself, am I just trying to get paid? Or am I really, truly doing my best to serve the audience that I have the privilege of having their attention, right? Like, so many of us refer to our audiences as like, oh, my list. I own 1,000 emails. Oh, do you really? You own 1,000 emails? Each and every one of those emails is attached to a human being, to a soul who has a family, who has children, who has a problem, a challenge, or an obstacle that they're looking to solve in their lives. And they've turned to you. Are you going to show up as somebody who just wants to get paid? Or are you going to show up as somebody who's ready to serve and to do the work, right? To lead yourself and to lead them into the opportunity that you've created with the knowledge that you've gained throughout your life to hopefully help them solve this problem and give them an opportunity for a better life and the life that they envision for themselves. Like, I think that that is a worthy cause, right? Like, say yes in the chats if you guys think that that's a worthy cause. And if that's the way that you want to show up, not only for yourself, but for the people that you serve. Yeah. Okay, let's do a couple of hot seats because I know I threw a lot at you. And I hope that you guys are like picking up what I'm putting down because like it was fire, if I do say so myself.
We have time. We literally only have time for like one quick one. Yeah.
Okay. I'll call on Janice and then we'll keep going, or we'll do your thing. Yeah. Just unmute her. Janice. There you are.
Okay. So, thank you. This hit home. I am between the player and the nice guy. And I'm hearing the formula, and I guess I'm wondering, is there too many times to make an offer, and should your offers vary per email? Like, so if let's say I have a launch, like a paid webinar coming up, like, should it be, is there a right or wrong way to have offers in there, like inviting people to Facebook groups one day and then the next day to my webinar? Like, does that create confusion in the sequence, or are you picking up something there?
Yeah. That's a great question. And I love, so I guess, your homework for everybody is like, I would be really, really honest with yourself about where you are. Like, I love that she came on and she's like, all right, I'm between the player and the nice guy, right? I think all of us can probably find ourselves in those people, or maybe in the in-between. I think that identifying that and being honest with yourself about how you're showing up will help you move into how you want to show up. Okay. And to answer your question, yes, the campaign that you're sending up until your event should all be driving to that event, right? You don't want to confuse people. And so I can tell you right now, like we're doing an accelerator call right now, and we're running a 7-day promotion for that. And so I stopped all other communication with my audience, and all I'm talking about is the accelerator call, why we created it, what we do with it, how they can get it, how many spots are left, right? And so the call to action is changing because I'm putting their focus on different parts of the offer, right? So it's like, do you need help thinking through your strategy? Do you need help figuring out when and why to send it? Right? But it's all around the exact same thing.
Okay.
You got it? And so when you're talking about inviting people to a Facebook group or to watch a YouTube video or whatever, you want to make sure that it's in service of the launch or the push that you're making, right? So that's why the outcome, what is the business outcome for the campaign that we're running right now? What is the business outcome for the emails that we're sending, right? And if you get past that launch and now you're in like a nurture situation, it's like, okay, we want to make sure that we're staying top of mind, and we want to make sure that we are adding value and that we are inviting them to come to our Facebook group and to listen to the podcast and anything like that. So just make sure that you open it up when there's not a specific promotion, and then you close it in to focus people's attention when there is.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Okay, awesome. You're so welcome. All right, Shanda, as per usual, I went a little bit long.
That's okay. That's okay. Okay, so first and foremost, how was that, you guys? How was that? Good? Yes? No? Can you guys put me up with Yara? Great. Was it good? Okay, so good. I was writing down some notes. First of all, answerthepublic.com was great because what that shows you is what's in the minds of your audience.
Yes.
And I teach this all the time. One of the things that I love about email marketing and owning my own email list is I can send out messages and get feedback right away. But I'm going to use that. I haven't been using that. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so amazing. I was messaging Gome on our team. I was like, Gome, so good. He's like, oh my God, I use it for blog writing all the time. It like indexes my blog so that I get lots of viewership. So remember, this is real content, guys. Like you want to literally create your cheat sheet of how you're going to start using it. Second thing is clearly lead your people, right? Like that calls to action. I loved how you said the subject lines to get them to open the email. Right? A lot of times people don't understand that. So guys, one of my favorite subject lines are you still up? I love that subject line. You should use it, take it, steal it, make a difference with it. Like, are you still up? But then you have to get rid of this weird feeling that you're saying because you're like, okay, I'm writing this at 2:00 in the afternoon. Yeah, but you're sending it at like maybe 7:00 your time.
Yeah.
Okay. And so are you still up? And then they open up the email and you're like, hey, I just wanted to see if you're still up. I'm thinking about this. I wanted to, you know what I mean? Like talk to them like you're talking to one person. Makes a huge difference. Another thing is copy files. I love that your daughter brought you like all the magazines. So in my house, you guys. So first of all, write this down. In my Gmail, because I'm with Gmail. I know you guys might be on Yahoo, whatever. In my Gmail, I have a copy swipe file. So you know how you can make folders? So when I get copy that either had me open up the email, so and like in industries that have nothing to do with mine, I would say about 70% of my copy swipe file is not from my industry. So it's from like, like the legging industry or revolve.com. So many times I'll be teaching and it's crazy because this is control. This is why leadership is everything. People be like, I don't have a coaching company. How do I apply what you're saying? I learned very little from the coaching industry about copy or about leadership. I go look like what is revolve.com doing? Free People has great marketing and they get you to open. So it's like, I don't sell leggings. I don't sell clothes. How would I get, you get what I'm saying? So pay attention to that. I also, if I'm doing events, because I do a lot of events, I have a copy swipe file in my email that says copy events. And when people are doing events, if I'm following their event, and especially if I buy, I'm like, boom, I'm saving every email.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I might have, I don't know, Lisa Nichols, right? And I might have Lisa Nichols event. And then I copy all those emails. So what do I do when I go to write? I don't copy her word for word, but where she talks about her, I talk about me. Where she talks about a story, I talk about a story. And I use the formatting of the email. So I don't do one big clump of writing. So every paragraph, I copy the formatting. If she puts a picture in, put a freaking picture in there. Like literally, but change it into my words. And what I do is I print out every email, and I'm not kidding you. This is my best copy hack. And I lay them out on the outside of my room, my office room. And I go from one email all the way to close cart, which means all offers go away. You guys have ever followed me, I never make the same offer twice, or it's very, very rare that I make the same offer twice. We're known for it. We're known for it. And so when we make an offer, you want to grab it if you like it. If you don't, pass and be strong on that. But I literally line up all the emails around the side of the room, and I start with 1, 2, 3, right, all the way through, and I pull one, put it next to my desk, and I rewrite it. And then literally I put that one back on the assembly line of my floor, upside down. That means that one's done. That is how I visually stay connected to doing exactly what somebody else did that's successful. Is that helpful?
That's
Okay,
amazing. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, it keeps you like, it also, like, you can see I'm almost done the campaign.
Oh yeah.
Right. And it keeps my nervous system so I don't spin and go, okay, like, am I doing it right? Like, you got to hack your leadership and get out of all that chaos in your head. And so the copy file as well, I have 2 boxes in my office where so I love Joel Osteen's mail game. Right? Any of you guys I don't know if Joel Osteen has a great mail game, which means every quarter you get an envelope where he writes something inspirational on the outside, and then you open it up and there's a letter. Those letters are highly copywritten. Okay. And so those letters have you donate money or buy books or CDs that he's done. And he takes that money and I don't know if it goes to the ministry or if it goes to him personally. Okay, because I know he's got 2 sides, the ministry and he's got his book side. And so really smart. So I keep all of those. And guess what Heartcore is just doing now? I mean, it took us years to get into this game, but I have years of Joel Osteen's quarterly. And guess what I do? I pull those puppies out. I say, okay, virtual assistant, okay, copywriter, whatever. We're going to do this. And we take one by one and go, okay, what his inspirational theme is, whatever, like I get out of fear. Okay, so we could do get out of fear. Right? And we think about our audience and we're like, fear is stealing your future. So we just rework the copy, and now it inspires something great out of us because somebody's great. We're using somebody's great leadership to inspire the next campaign. Okay, now the only count is you don't want to use somebody's stuff that sucks.
Right.
Okay, I just want to put it out there. All copy is not made equal because I've hired a lot of great copywriters and spent a lot of money, like 70 grand a year on a copywriter that's not even just dedicated to me. And I'm going to tell you, I have failed miserably with a lot of copywriters. I always go back to Yara. I'm like, Yara, I got this really important thing. I want to make a really big difference in the world. Can you help me? Or I go, remember this, Yara? Yara and I did, we created a product called, or I created a product called The Club, which is now in our Mentor Me Live program. And it's where our clients get to be trained 6 times a month on how to sell. And we just need that consistency to get you into selling. And people have made thousands and thousands of dollars in there. So when we came up with the club, I couldn't really articulate it. Anybody else have that? Right? I couldn't, like, it sounded good in the shower, but then when I tried to talk about it, it was very confusing. And a confused mind does what? What does a confused mind does? Go in the chat. What does a confused mind do? It does nothing. They don't buy, they don't move, they don't anything, right? And so now you're not making a difference. So I go to Yara, I'm like, I got this thing. And no, I want to show people how to build these email lists. And I'm going to continue to do that until you all tell me that you got 15, 20,000 people and they're good people and they're buying, right? When the marketplace tells me they're good, then I'll switch what I offer. So I go to her, I'm like, we're going to do this list building, obviously, because this is so important. Number one, most important thing that stops you from going bankrupt is your email list. And then I said, but we're going to mix it with the club. And remember that day? I remember where I was sitting. I was up on the roof of my deck and I was sitting there and I'm talking to her and I was like, this is the most unbelievable offer. And like, I'm really confused and we're trying to work it. And then we got it. Remember that? And it was, it
was 2 years ago.
Yeah, we convert, and it was because COVID had hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I lost $2 million a month in gross revenue. And I turned it around in about a week. I'm not kidding you. In a week, I built a team, turned it around, and it was working. And I was like, I could create a product to tell people what I did, but then I have to rely on your leadership to do it. Mm-hmm. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take my leadership, my team that I built the leadership, and I'm going to give it to our clients for $300 a month. Okay, that was the whole, I'll give it to our clients for $300 a month. And then our high-end Mentor Me Live clients, they get it with their program. And so Yara and I worked that copy until we were able to speak it in a way that you would get it and it wouldn't be confusing. And we blew the socks off that campaign.
Well, and I think, Shanda, just to kind of circle back, it's like we gave people a reason, right? Because it's like, why was Shanda now giving everybody access to her leadership team for $300? And it's like, she has a heart to serve. And she saw not only a need in her own business, but she saw a need in the marketplace, right? And she was coming in with the resources and the talent and the leadership that she had available to her. And that's one of the reasons why that offer made so much sense, because there was a real reason behind it.
Yeah, like it wasn't that I was just launching a product to make money. Like I literally was like, I cannot repackage this because I don't think they'll get it, but I can if I have them 6 times a month. We can really help move the dial financially and get these guys through however long COVID was going to be. Nobody knew it was going to be this long. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just thinking we're going to offer this, help them through, and then we're going to go back to our life, you know, and that's not what happened. So, okay. So Yara, you've got some list building stuff or some copy stuff that you can help people assist in actually converting higher. You guys, obviously we have got join list power now, or not now, joinlistpower.com. If you guys can drop it in the chats, joinlistpower.com. Okay. So you can see it at the bottom of my screen. You see that? Okay. So here's the deal. All the bonuses are bye-bye from before, right? So coming to my mastermind, you know, Michael's workshop, like all that stuff, Barry's workshop, all of those are gone. I'm sharing that with you because you must close down your offers. Mm-hmm. If you don't, you will teach your audience how to like not believe you. Okay. So there are times that you bring things back, right? Because like, for instance, Barry trained and she gave a workshop on how do you create an event and sell from it. And she's the best. She is the best that I have ever seen at it. And that was a bonus. And I forgot to say it on the live. So permission to make mistakes. Yeah. But don't beat yourself up. Just get back up and be honest and share it. So I made that offer for 2 days. So that offer is gone.
Wow.
Yara has got a give right now that she's going to give you that will be available till 8 p.m. tonight. Go ahead. Tell me what that is.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually really excited to share this. We created a tool within our agency. So we own a copywriting agency. We do all kinds of projects for all kinds of different businesses all of the time. And so we had information coming at us every which way. And so we actually created a super, super visual a spreadsheet type of tool. So even for those of you guys who like hate spreadsheets, I did too. So it's totally okay. I've got you, where you can actually map out an entire campaign, know exactly when to say things, when to send them, what to say. And it allows you to see it in a calendar view. You can dive right into the actual campaigns. What's every single email going to say? And then a place that houses all of the documentation so that you can actually fulfill on that calendar that you've created. It literally takes you like 15 minutes to get it all out of your head. And then all you've got to do is actually write the emails on the back end. And so I've only really shared this with a handful of people, and I've never trained anybody on how to use it. I'm always like, here's the tool, you guys can have it. But for you guys, because I love Shanda so much, and she asked, I'm going to host a specific training for everyone who moves forward tonight and help you guys on how to use List Assist.
Okay. So here's the thing. If you already jumped in, because hundreds of you guys already jumped in. So if you've already jumped in to joinlistpower.com, whether you did the business package or the business and life package, if you don't know what I'm talking about, put a question mark in the chats so we can see you. If you don't know what the opportunity is or the ability to work with us is, put a question mark in the chat so that we can see you, okay? So here's the thing. She is going to train you on how to use this tool. And I always say this, if your marketing is not calendared right, you won't do it, right? So one of the reasons why I lay all the copy around the room, you know what I mean? It's because it gives me a visual and a placeholder to go do it. And I'll tell you, as a leader, even hiring copywriters and things like that, I say to my team, I need to know exactly what days emails are going out. Here's another hint. If you can send out emails throughout the night and the day, you're going to actually reach more people. Now, if you joined listpower.com, either package you chose, business or business life, like I'm out here doing life and business, right? Whatever your jam is, I'm going to show you how to build an email list. So inside of anywhere between 45, 60, some of you guys might have a lot going on in your life. It might take you 90 days. We are going to build a list. Okay, so I'm going to train you live for 3 days in March, this month. I'm going to train you live for 3 days. We're going to go literally like 5-6 hours in the day. And I'm going to walk through every module and you're going to do it. Like Becky, imagine being broken out into breakout rooms on Zoom and having to work on what is going to be the hook for this email. But I'm going to get you the email, right? So I'm going to be working with you on what is the hook to get someone like Yara, myself, an author out there, a company out there to mail their database and share you with them. Okay, so there's no better opportunity to make decisions than when we have something on the calendar and somebody's mailing for you. Let me ask you a question. If you knew I was going to mail for your company next Wednesday, would you make some decisions before Wednesday, or would you let that opportunity go? Would you let the opportunity go where I promote you to my list next Wednesday? Or would you figure out whatever you needed to figure out? Like, what am I going to offer? What is the email that needs to be written to give to Shanda to send to her list? Would you figure it out? You better figure it out, because that's leadership. There's nothing better than to get you out of struggle, confusion, and frustration. Then you put something on the calendar that holds your ass in the fire to be successful. So I'm going to show you how to build the email list. Okay, the email list of really strong subscribers, and a good portion of them will become buyers. So many of our clients do 1,000, 1,700, 2,300 on their first list build. That is pretty normal. Okay, if I literally do the math on that, if you build 1,000 people on your list, which is not odd for someone who even doesn't know what they're going to offer yet. Some of you guys already know what you're going to offer. Some of you guys have been in business for a while. You're like, I just need to make more money. I need to create more consistent cash flow. There's some of you guys who don't know. Okay, so let's say 1,000 people on your list. If we built 1,000 people on your list, right now we're spending about $25 to $30 a lead by paid advertisement. I'm going to put $18 a lead. That's $18,000 just from me training you that I would save you by doing the List Power Intensive program. Okay, so whether you do the business program or you do the business and life, I'm going to show you how to build the list for today only until 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And notice, I'm going to send out emails. Why? Because some of you guys are getting in your own way and you're processing and you're letting this opportunity go. And this has been a pattern. And I want to see if I can interrupt it with some of my communication so you put yourself first. Do you see what I'm saying? So pay attention to the emails I send, and know Yara's going to pick you up on the back end, give you her tool, her list assist tool, so you can organize your life and not be in chaos of when to send it out. But she's also going to show you how to write that, what you're going to write. She's going to do a workshop with you guys, which she's never done before, which I think is awesome. Yes? Is that awesome? Now, If you're interested in business and life, this is just for the people, bear with me, you guys, just for the people who don't know what I'm talking about. First, go to joinlistpower.com right now. Okay. The business and life, there is a leadership program added to that one. So both of them, I teach you how to do the list building, but there's a business and life opportunity. And that means that we have a leadership program. It's an intensive. Actually, Yara is going to be doing it with her boyfriend. Okay. And so my point in sharing that with you is like everybody I love, I recommend doing this because it gets you out of the processing forever and thinking things are going to get better. It moves you out of the way. So the leadership that's added to the business and life, it has a 3-day intensive virtually. You don't have to leave your house. A 3-day intensive, which is called Vision. It's got about 2 weeks later, you're going to have a 4-day intensive called Breakthrough. And basically what you're going to do is shatter everything that's anchoring you from creating results. So my husband's over here, but he would tell you that I am not attached to my failures or my success. I'm just not. I'm working with you right now. I'm present with you. And when I turn off this video, I'm going to be present with my friends on the ski mountain behind me. And I'm not worried about blowing these enrollments out of the water. I just don't operate like that because I lead myself in a way now that is I guess the best way I could say it. I don't want anybody to think you have to be overly consistent, but you do have to have a level of failing and wiping off your shoulders fast and getting up to the plate and not being emotionally triggered. So because of leadership, I'm able to just keep going. I make a lot of offers. They're almost never the same offer. I am consistently giving and I am not exhausted. And I can tell you, I take people who are emotionally triggered and put them through our leadership program, and they come out and they make decisions faster. They create great results. And many of them, not an income claim at all, but many of them take a year's worth of income and they create it inside of the leadership program. So there's three days in Vision, 4 in Breakthrough, and then practice is where you test us. Give me your hardest freaking goal that you want to create. I mean, just off of the training yesterday, which was around just giving you a little bit of language to have a hard conversation. I saw people healing their relationships with their parents. I saw people literally going out and selling, enrolling people that said no to them. I saw people saving marriages. I saw people like connecting and bonding with their kids. And I will tell you what I see in the room in leadership. I see people get married. I see people who are single who want to get married and haven't had a date for like 6 years end up getting into significant relationships. I see people who have been stuck financially that now do what it takes during the 24 hours or the 10 hours you're up and actually do what it takes to create income. My very good friend Diane has never taken a marketing class from me. I keep telling you, you got to build the list. You got to build the list. Never taken a marketing class from me. She did our leadership program. We taught her style flexing. She got out of her own way. She told me the other day she did $140,000 in her first year in business. What's different? She's not like this. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. And no freaking follow through. Right now she follows through and she can do it completely imperfectly. And she's $140,000. And she's just getting started because she still doesn't really know what she's doing. She also took a relationship that broke up and now they're engaged. Okay, they both did the leadership program. So I've not informed them financially in marketing. I would like to have her in our marketing programs to teach her, but all she did was leadership and things changed. So I highly recommend business and leadership. But listen, some of you guys are like, I can't afford the $2,200. And I do have a payment option where I'll finance for you on a 3-pay. But if you can't do that, maybe it takes you a little bit longer by just doing the business, but that's okay. That's okay. Do just the business package for $997. And you know what? Let's spend the next 6, 7, or 8 months getting some income underneath you. And yes, you will come back and maybe pay a higher price for leadership, but who cares? What matters is that you don't give up on you. So Yara's going to throw in her bonus for today. I think that's a pretty awesome bonus. You can't even go buy that. And let's give you everything you need to succeed. Sound good, my friends? Yes? Yes? Okay. So 8 o'clock tonight. So much love. So here's the homework. I would like you, I wrote this down. I would like you, I had homework and then I changed it listening to Yara. Again, permission to serve people in what they need. So I would like you to go have an inspiring conversation with someone today. I would like you, someone that you feel lit up around, someone that maybe you love and you would really like to see them create a different result in their life. I want you to be inspired about going and making a difference for someone. Does everybody know who that person might be? Okay, so I want you to go and set up, like get out of your own way. If they're busy, text message, find a time within between now and the time you go to sleep, or if you're in a different time zone and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, let's do that when you get up, right? Set your agenda, put something on the wall that says you're going to go have an inspiring conversation. But before you go have an inspiring conversation, I want you to clearly, how Yara talked about your calls to action, subject lines to get them to open up an email, right? Like, what is going to be your intention of making a difference for them? Is it going to be just believing in them so that they stick to their diet? Is it going to be, having fun? That's one so if you're confused right now and you're like, she's giving me some more homework. Okay, that's all control. That you should do the business life package, because we need to break that control. Okay, because that will slow you down when you're trying to move things forward. Okay, so every single person could literally set the intention, the clear intention that you want to have more fun. And maybe you want to enroll somebody that you like, or somebody that you love, or someone that you don't spend enough time with to have more fun. So my dad is on an oxygen machine, and he pretty much hasn't left the house that I pay for 2 years. He pretty much, Yara, could you mute your line? He pretty much hasn't left his house for 2 years. He had that realization the other day to watch his heart sink. He just felt like, oh my God, I've been in a room for 2 years, but when I go over there, he comes out on the patio, he sits on the patio and he talks with me, and it's just the light of his day. It just lights up his world when I go over there and spend time with him. He's bored, he feels alone, he's got a lot going on. Okay. And so I share this with you because I might say I want to have more fun with my dad, but he can't leave the place. So I could say, well, what would fun look like? Well, my fun and my dad's fun is very different. Okay. Like, I would love to play cards with him. So if you didn't watch yesterday's training, you should, because you really should, because we talked about the need to be right. Sometimes we're having breakdowns in relationship because I go to my dad and I go, Dad, let's play cards. He's like, well, why don't you text me later and see if I'm available? And I go, oh, what am I doing in that moment? I'm being right that he's wrong, that he's not seizing the opportunity to spend time. Can you guys hear that? Like, I know this is a real conversation. It's easy to get in that. Or my intention is to have fun with my father, which means what's really the commitment? It's not for me to come up with the idea or only do things that I think is fun. If my commitment is to have fun with my father, then I've got to go open up a dialogue that's inspiring for my dad, which is going to be talking about the news, which is absolutely not inspiring to me at all. And I'm going to have to find things in that conversation to enjoy the connection with my father. Do you see when you get your leadership up, how things really shift? And then, hey, Dad, I want to come visit you. What would you like to do together? And he will probably say, just sit and talk. Okay, he will probably say that. Now, I can bring a puzzle with me, or I could bring something with me to see if I can engage him. But if I get insulted because he doesn't want to do what I want to do, no one's buying. Some of you guys are marketing like this. Some of you guys are talking to people like this, and you're pissed off because they don't have the same ideas as you. Others are literally creating products and services off hair, like standing up on your freaking arms. And I'm like, listen, go to freaking answerthepublic.com and go see what people actually want, not what you are just inspired about. What are other people wanting support around? Do you see how this all starts to connect? In order for you to be valuable to another human being, you need to know how to lead them. You need to know how to do a call to action, and you need to know what your intention is. And if your intention is good, you're going to make great money. If you hang out with me, you hang out with Yara, right? You hang out with this crew, you're going to make money. Now, that's not an income claim, because I cannot say that I guarantee that with you, but I can tell you there is 78% of my audience right now that last quarter hit their goals. How much longer do you want to be right about the fact that you've invested in yourself before and didn't get the results? I mean, how much longer do you want to hold on to that conversation? Because I guarantee you it's not moving you forward. And it's a way that you're keeping yourself safe from actually getting back up to the plate and committing to a real life that you actually know in your gut you're capable of. So you got to give yourself another shot. And I hope that we're good trainers for you. And I hope that you feel our heart. And here's what I know for sure. You're going to need help to get to that next level. And we want to be that help for you. So go to joinlistpower.com. Joinlistpower.com. Yara's offer is not available tomorrow. It's available today only. I didn't forget to say it. So it's available today only until 8 p.m. But don't wait till 8 p.m. Notice your patterns. You're going to have to notice patterns with creating products and services. You got to know, I knew that I needed to create the club because I was noticing a pattern. Notice your own patterns. You got to get above this. Notice your own patterns to be able to put yourself in a situation where you can break them. Notice your own patterns. If you wait to the last minute, stop that. Stop that. Do what it takes now to get yourself over. Enroll yourself. We have a group called Coach Yourself to Success. It's all about enroll yourself. It's your life. You're the lead. All right, you guys, VIP, I'm going to move over to you. Yara, thank you for your training today. I love you. Our team will organize getting this training set up. And everybody who already jumped in since last Wednesday, like the last 3 days, obviously, we're going to give you access to that. We don't penalize people for making decisions fast. So you guys are all in the game. All right. So much love for you. We will see you tomorrow. Go have that conversation. Go back in the Facebook group. Share what happened. I'm going to be giving out some Louis Vuitton bags. See you guys tomorrow morning with Ash and I talking about 3 things that if you did this in your leadership, that you would make more money and create more sales. So we'll be doing that right here, standing here in Utah.